completely almost overwhelming. And that was a turning point for me. And why? Because everyone wanted to have what you call a piece of my flesh, if you know what I mean. Men were toasting me everywhere. And I'm like, that means if I follow this thing now, I will have them eating off my finger. But then I've always known God. I've always been with God. So that movie, remember we did it in 96, just as I was finishing youth service. And we're entering 97. And that movie took me for the first time to receive my very first award in London. That movie, Glamour Girls Part 2.
Wow.
So on my return, I took my award plaque. I've not been able to tell you about all the things I went through with my father, how he wanted to cut off my fingers because I painted my fingers for the first time, how he wanted to disown me because, I went into acting because I refused to even do the law that he wanted. There's so many stories, So eventually when I even started acting, I used to jump the fence to go out for audition. Yes, I used to jump the fence. He didn't want in church. Let me say, he informally disowned me.
Did you have any support from your siblings or from mommy?
Yeah, it was from my mom.
So they will support you to jump the fence?
Yes, so they will be the one that will open the gate and be waiting for when I'll come back. You understand me? And then, let me even put it this way. Okay, let me go back a little bit. When I had finished youth service and I brought my certificate back, remember my father didn't want to have anything to do with my education. He was like, okay, since I refused to want to do law, then let him help me to, with employment. My father was what he called the administrative officer of more than 6 companies here in Lagos. There's Universal Packaging, there's Wortman Exploration, there's Gemini Industries, a lot of companies. 6, he was the one who was in charge. In short, it was from him I heard the word first time expatriates, because he used to deal with the people that he was in charge of, the employees of foreigners that were coming into the country. So he's the one that's in charge of their salary, in charge of everything, payment and everything, sacking and deportation and importation of, so he was a big boy, he was a big man in his own era. You understand? So he was like, okay, I should fill the employment letter so that I can work in the office. And I refused. So for 6 months, my father locked me in the house. When I mean locked me in the house, locked me in my room. So there's this paper they call use me paper, small white paper.
Yes.
So he will write on it, put the employment letter, write on there, push it under my door, and said, fill the form so that I can submit it. I'll write, I don't want to work in an office. So for 6 months. So my mom will be crying and they will give me food like a prisoner in my own father's house.